So, I thought we'd have maybe online a bit of a fun contest to begin. Not really a contest. I'm telling you right now, if you win this, you didn't have any responsibility in winning. You'll see why. Let's see who had the smallest. I think I have an idea who's going to win this one. The smallest high school class. You had the fewest number of people in your high school class. Sue, what do you got? 25? Okay. So 45 were in your high school class. Can anybody go lower than 45? Dad, what was yours at? Oh, it was 28 until two schools combined. Yeah, so 1961 graduate of Springs Valley High School, the high school of Larry Bird. So, fun fact about my dad, if you didn't know that. Yes, and that is quite the point. Yes, my high school class had a little over 100 people in it. Now let's go for the biggest. Who had the biggest high school class? 380. Anybody? Can you beat 380? Anyone online? 396. Anybody online, Christy, can beat that? Like as in ocho, 8. 535, who's that? Richard, Big Rich with 535 for the win. Ray with 580. Ray, our Johnson's pal. Sorry, I didn't bring any prizes for winning. So, Sue, I'll give you a high five or a hug or something that would suffice. I know who's going to win this one. Who lives the farthest away? Who lives the farthest away from Whiteland, Indiana? Can anyone beat Dayton, Ohio? Aaron? 2,200 miles. Where are you from, sir? He's from French Lick, but he lives in Panama. This is my cousin, Aaron. So glad he's here with us today. We could do that one Sunday. We could try. I need the microphone. It's like skinny and's got the little thing up there. Yeah, Plinko. Yeah. Here's my question. Do you think that, like, let's take my high school class, a bit over 100 people. Do you think that group of folks could create a movement with, let's say, 1 million people in it within, I don't know. We'll leave it at that. Do you think it could create a movement of 1 million people? Highly doubtful. Do you think? 100 people, could they create a movement of 1 million people with a legacy of a movement of 100 people? You don't think so? Huh. Now take away social media and the internet. Could they do it? They have no internet, no social media. Zip. Now take away money. They have no money. Could they do it? Now take away, they have no leaders of influence. Nobody in any high sector. I think you started to get where this is heading. Year 33. It said in Acts that the Jesus' movement had, any guesses? In year 33, this was year 33, he had how many people? In the company of believers, how many? 120 is the correct answer. He had 120 people according to Acts 1:15. Oh, I forgot to put in this factor. If you've been in a group with me, we do a training where we go through this very exercise. From year 33 to 100, I forgot to bring in this factor. Could you create a movement with millions of people if it were illegal to be a part of that movement? And people in the movement were killed for being a part of that movement. A guy by the name of Nero, Emperor Nero, said, these folks here caused a fire and they're to blame and we got to wipe them out. Oh, I forgot this one. The leader gets crucified in the very beginning. By year 100, they had, I'm going to need to put this down. That's a conservative number. 25K. It was illegal to say Jesus is Lord. That was their first confession in this time. Illegal. It was illegal to say Jesus is Lord. In year 100 to 300, the emperor of Rome, several of them said, we need to wipe this out. There was a guy named Diocletian who was special. And by special, I mean evil. We got to get these people out. No social media, no money, no power for people. Conservatively. 10 million people by year 300. That's like my little high school class. Starting a movement like that with no money, no power, and no Facebook. It's powerful stuff, right? If you want to know, that's my argument besides faith. I believe in Jesus because I've experienced Christ through the Holy Spirit. But this right here is my rational argument for something was going on with this Jesus person. This is wild. Think about this. The Son of God spent around 3 years on earth in doing ministry. The other 30, he grew up like you and me. He was an apprentice to his daddy. He lived amongst poor people in poor villages. He spent 3 years in ministry, died, raised. This happened after him. And in his life, here's what's wild. He created this by spending most of his time with how many people? 12. 12 to 24, but mostly 12. And actually, he had a core within that 12 that was the 3. Peter, James, John. And with that, he did this. Here's the thing. The one thing that we're in this series called Neighbor is a Verb. We live in a world where increasingly we are not good neighbors. We live more in isolation and also with a crowd mentality, like mob mentality, than I would say is in an unprecedented way because of social media. We have the ability to connect because of globalization with thousands and yet be meaningfully connected with few. And yet the Son of God, God, comes to gather us into intimate relationship, to share the power of heaven with us, to send us to preach the good news of the kingdom of heaven coming to earth. That's how he spent his life. With 12 people investing in an intimate relationship, empowering them, and saying, go out, heal, announce to people that the kingdom of heaven is coming to earth, and show them signs that it's coming. And I think they did okay. I think they did all right. The worst thing that ever happened to Christianity is that Christianity became legal in the Roman Empire. Became wed with a nation. After that, Christians in the earliest years were willing to give up their lives to advance the kingdom of heaven. Then, in the next several centuries, they became willing to take life, to crusade. Jesus wasn't a crusading Lord. He was a crucified Lord. That's who we follow. He comes to build relationships, intimate relationship. That's what God is. God is a relationship, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, and he creates us for close, intimate relationship to empower each other so that we go out and extend the neighborhood of God into our neighborhoods. So here's my question for you. What are the barriers in our time to intimate relationships where we spend a lot of time with 3 or 12 or 120? What are the biggest barriers in our lives to really investing in 3 or 12 or 120? Aaron says complacency, distraction, electronics, so lack of focus, afraid to make people feel uncomfortable, afraid to look stupid, maybe, pushy, busyness, selfishness we have from online, fear. What else? What are the barriers to, like, I call it a 3, 12, 120 kind of life? Your unbelief. Yeah, the guy who founded the Methodist movement, so we're sitting in a historic Methodist church building, he said the root of all of our ills is unbelief. A fear of authenticity. Like, if I'm seen for how I really am or who I really am, what happens? What if I stop the performance? What if I lay down the ego or false self and people see me? Will it be okay? Man, you guys are hammering all the barriers that I put on my list, all of them. All of them. So my roommate is talking about how she's a very independent woman. She doesn't want people encroaching on her beliefs or actions. So it's like, wait, so now I'm going to go out and encroach on someone else's. Yeah. Yeah, you hit them all the barriers. I think we live in a, I listed 3. Let's see if I can remember them without having the notes in front of me. Number 1, we live in related to all this, we live in a world with a lot of competitive systems. The goal often that we get kind of baked into our heads and our hearts is to be a hero, to be valedictorian, to be the grand champion, to get first place, to be CEO, to climb the income ladder. Competition can be really healthy and good. Competition with greed, really, really bad. Last time I checked, humans are somewhat prone to greed. What do you think? We're not drawn to greed itself. We're drawn to this idea that if I acquire this much more, I'll be okay. If I accumulate this, then I'll have arrived. People will like me. I'll be admired. I'll have an awesome life. If you're going to do what Jesus does then, spend time with 312 or 120 and share your power with them. Jesus, Philippians says that though he was in the form of God, did not consider being equal with God something to be exploited, but emptied himself of it and was obedient to the point of death on the cross, so that at his name every knee shall bow and tongue confess that Jesus is Lord. The Son of God emptied himself of power, gathered 312, 120 and said, here, take my power, take my authority, and go heal people. I give you authority over all the evil of the world. I share my power with you. Go take it. Go liberate people. Show them with your actions that you're a citizen of the kingdom of heaven, and we're going to defeat the forces of death, evil, and sin. Go take this power. In a competitive world, we're not taught to share power. We're taught to hoard it. We live in a competitive world. We live in a world that's like we're globally connected more than ever. How on earth can you live invested in 312 and 120? I don't even know how many friends I got on Facebook now. I see a name come up on my timeline. This happened the other day. I was like, I don't know who that person is. I don't remember when I met them. I had no idea who they were. We live in a globally connected world. So investing in close relationships and selling out for that? We live in a crowd mentality kind of world, not a close relationship kind of world. Related to those systems, like in a globally connected world with Instagram and TikTok, where you can be an influencer. I don't know what an influencer is. Someone help me out some later. But apparently my wife tells me there's an influencer who lives near us. And she's like a teenager. She's an influencer. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe older. Yeah. An influencer. Man, when Jesus died, I don't think he would have gotten the title influencer. They'd be like, oh, that's a cute little movement. Oh, yeah, it's not going to make it. He lived a pretty good life, though. Did some good things. Love of God, love of neighbor. I liked it. He said, I do? I've got 1,458 friends. How many of those friends am I meaningfully connected with? I don't know. We have so many barriers in our time to a 312, 120 kind of life where you have people that you're intentionally investing in, a core, a group, and a family that you are intentionally invested in, praying over, sharing your power, whatever gifts you have with them and them with you in return, and you going out together and proclaiming the good news of the kingdom coming. You know, it's a lot. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to read you a passage just to show you how this worked in just a minute. The first followers struggle with these same things too. Yeah, they pulled this off. Woo! That's pretty awesome. If you want to read more about this, look up a guy by the name of Rodney Stark. He's a sociologist who mapped this. Alan Hirsch, Hirsch, mapped this. They had the same struggles we did. Same. For instance, that fear, like, what will people think of me? For instance, St. Peter. St. Peter is probably initially the guy who is responsible for bringing a whole multitude of people to make this happen. He brought the Gentiles into the family of Jesus. Acts 10. Peter's living intentionally, praying on his roof. Who should I invest in? God's like, there's a guy by the name of Cornelius I want you to go see. All right. He walks into a Gentile, not just a Gentile, a Roman officer into his house. The whole house is baptized. It opens up a new era in Christianity. The Gentiles, people who are not Jewish, can now be a part of the movement. This dude was a champion for the Gentiles, right? He got afraid. Man, if people see me eating with Gentiles, like, I'm not sure like how some of my friends in Jerusalem are going to think about that. We know that because his buddy Paul, who started a bunch of churches, came up to him and says, hey man, I heard you're not eating with Gentiles anymore. Is that true? Yeah, I mean, sometimes I might, but I might not, Fear of what people think. Crowd mentality, like their movement got bigger, more complicated. They said, like, who should be in my circle? What should I do with my life? We see this in Acts 6. Some people come to Peter with, hey, our Greek widows aren't being fed in the distribution of food in the community. Peter's, I should do it. I need to do something about it. No. He says, who's spirit-filled in our midst who can address this need? He empowers somebody else. They had these problems too. And yet they did like Jesus did, which I'm going to read you here. They followed in Jesus' pattern of gathering people into close, intimate relationships, empowering other people, and sending them with a focus, a purpose. Listen to what Jesus did in Luke chapter 9, the Gospel of Luke chapter 9. It's crazy. By this time, Jesus hasn't left his like little 10 square mile block. The Son of God just hung out in a little back country place called Galilee. He hadn't even left that place yet. Luke chapter 9. Jesus called the 12 together. Luke chapter 9. Jesus was in the habit of gathering close relationships, getting them together, eating together. Let's spend time together. Let's pray together. He called the 12 together. He gave them power and authority over all demons and to heal sicknesses. Gave his power away. Shared his power, said, take it. Take my authority with you, go. He sent them out to proclaim God's kingdom and to heal the sick. Purpose, focus. He told them, take nothing for the journey, no walking stick, no bag, no bread, no money, not even an extra shirt. Leave the baggage behind. Leave the stuff weighing you down at home. Get rid of it. Whatever house you enter, remain there until you leave that place. Be focused on that house and that house alone. Wherever they don't welcome you, as you leave the city, shake the dust off your feet as a witness against them. Don't let it keep you down. Shake your sandals off. Keep on keeping on. They departed and went through the villages. We're not even to this stage yet. It's 12. They departed and went through the villages, proclaiming the good news and healing people everywhere. Can we do that in our time? I just heard we could. Joanna says, I want to know what they said. What did it look like? Give me the instruction book. I'm the same way. Like, man, can I just have a little more kind of material? More. We could. Could we do it? Like, okay, then why don't we? We have a comment. I don't think they worried about being popular. I am. I got 1,458 friends on Facebook. I'm popular, man. I'm selfish, Maureen says. I want to take my coat, my money, my food. Jesus, I can't leave that aside. Come on. At least some water, yeah. The last 2 years, Patty says, made it harder than ever. Angela says, I think in terms of scarcity, I'm always thinking I won't have enough of fill in the blank. How would society react? They would probably think you're crazy. Maureen says there's no way on earth I'm letting someone stay in my home who knocks on my door. All right, listen, here's where we're going to finish today. We're about to be done. Obviously, what I just read to you requires a little translation work in our time. But we can do it. I would say we're made to do it. We're saved from the power of death and evil to do it. Our life is for this. Our lives are for this. Jesus says the good news is that the kingdom of heaven is near. God's neighborhood is making its way into earth. Everybody has a place. You do. Everybody out there does. So how can we go neighbor well and help people to know that? I'll just tell you a story, a modern day story, what I think it might look like in our time. One is, no offense to any of my Facebook friends out there, I got some pruning to do. No offense. In fact, I'm kind of wondering if I should quit Facebook. I've been thinking about it for a long time. And then there's a voicemail, Ross, you can't have a church without a Facebook account. I don't know, maybe I can. Don't worry, everybody. We're still going to have the online thing. Don't worry. It's still going to be there. Part of it involves so I did a training with a guy who planted thousands of house churches in China in the last decade. It can be done. You're like, I could never do that. Couldn't do it. This guy, when you look at him, the whole time he was doing the training, I was like, this guy? He's not charismatic at all. He doesn't have a charismatic bone in his body. Curtis Sargent is his name. We don't exactly see eye to eye on some theological thing, but man, he's obedient. He literally had to sit down and make a list of 100. Can you do that? A family of 120 list. These are the people that I'm going to invest the most of my energy and time into. I hear it in you, I hear it in me. But Ross, what about number 121? Does that mean they're just cut out? I'll show you something in a minute. We'll make our way back to that. Here's the deal. If you fight against this number, you might be fighting against your very makeup. Jesus' number of 120 is backed up by sociological science. There's something called the Dunbar number. Have you ever heard of it? There's a British anthropologist who said, cognitively, we cannot manage relationships outside of 150 people. Once we start to get beyond 150 people, we get super overwhelmed. The meaningful connections break down, the network breaks down. Malcolm Gladwell quotes it in his book, The Tipping Points, called The Rule of 150. I'm telling you, making a list of 120, sitting down this week and saying, who are my 120 might be worth your time. I'm going to do it. You can use your wedding guest list. Oh, we have a good question. What is the benefit to making such a list? Let's put it back on the folks. I don't want to answer that. What's the benefit? Is there a benefit, or is it like, I don't think so. It outlines your intentionality. Okay, here are the top 10 people I like. The next 20. Here. All right, so I'm going to show you this. We did it back in the summer. I'm going to do it again, and then we're going to stop at 10:25. Promise. All right. I wanted this series to be practical. If we come in here and just talk about it and don't practice new things, then we may as well just go home. Neighbor is a verb. We're talking about how do we neighbor well? The way Jesus said, if you love God and love your neighbor, you'll really live. There's a guy who comes up to him and says, how do I inherit the kingdom of heaven? Jesus says, what do you think of the first 5 books of the Bible? He says, well, I think it's kind of about love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love your neighbors yourself. Jesus says, do that and you will live. Do that right there and you will live. That's the benefit. That's part of the benefit. If you learn how to neighbor well like Jesus, you'll really learn what living is. Right now, I think we have the appearance of living. I don't think the enemy to the good is often evil. I think the enemy to the good is often the appearance of good. So when you have 1,458 friends on Facebook, that's the appearance of good. The real good is something like 120 people that you eat with, you pray for, you empower, you send, you cultivate the purpose of heaven together, and you go do it. Here's what it looks like. Let's hear it. Gotta get me a better pen. Sorry. Can they see this all right? Sorry, people online. I'll come back online. Let's think about that. So Jesus did that right there. He had time for 120, but that wasn't the most of his time and energy. The most of his time and energy was this very inner core. Peter, James, John. Example, they went up to the mountain together and had the transfiguration moment. When Jesus was praying in Gethsemane, who did he ask to come pray with him? Those 3. Maybe it's your immediate family. The next is the 12. You see it in Luke 9. He gathers 12. Hey guys, get together. Plus women. The only people at the tomb in the end of the story are women. All the men. The Romans strike the shepherd, the sheep scatter. Except for the women. He invested in those 2. The 120 were people that he spent the next level of energy and time and commitment with. You can do the same thing. We did it over the summer. It's called your spheres of influence. It doesn't have to be 3. But who's your core? Who's your next circle? Who's the next one? And I know you're asking, but what about these people? Do they not matter anymore? No, you can, oh, sorry, you're number 121. I can't talk to you on the phone. Bye. It's just a mindfulness. It's helping you be aware, where are my boundaries? Am I giving all of my energy here or here? And obviously, to end for today, there is one. Actually, we'll get a whole new sheet for that one. This is how you neighbor well. Jesus says, do that and you will live. But the first command is this. You with God. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. We've got to cultivate our friendship with God every single moment of every single day, and it will help us to do this. Jesus says if you do this, that one there, and that one there, you will live. Let's practice it this week. I know you might be saying, Ross, I don't know how. Practice. Think about this stuff for you. I know for me, I don't want to keep living a life that is spread so thinly. I want to live meaningfully with God and meaningfully with my family and friends. Whether it adds up to popularity or not, I'm thinking it probably won't. So let us go do the same. Hey, a couple of announcements. I just want to say I'm thankful for this small family that we have that's called HeavenEarth Church. Every time I sit with you, every time we gather online, sit with a group